Peace, peace, peace. Tap. Uja, greetings everyone. One moment, please. Uja, so this depiction is from the temple to Hereu and Maat in the city of Dier el Medina. And it shows the what is commonly referred to as the judgment scene. And above are the 42 divinities of Maat. So each divinity is associated with each one of the 42 precepts. And to the far left, you have the initiate worshiping the divinities of the precepts of Maat. And it's in this temple room. To the back, you have a Sar being worshipped. You see the offering being given to a Sar, a libation, and an incense offering. And he's at the end of the scene as well, the judgment scene, along with his 4 sons, where he's witnessing the judgment process. So we don't have much time to go into it in detail, but just wanted to show you. On the bottom is a papyrus. These are papyrus plants, and these are lotus. And these are closed lotus. So we'll exit here, and then we'll go to the other document. So last time we did 43. Today we'll do 44. And Zimam. Neteri. I have not killed any of the cattle that are set aside for the divine. A few years ago, I did a presentation on the cattle motif in ancient Egyptian religion, coming from Nubia, and how the cattle worship was enjoined in very, very remote ancient times. And it maintained its prevalence during ancient Egyptian civilization. Asar is related to the cattle, the cow. You have Heteru related to the cow, Aset related to the cow. Goddess Net is related to the cow. And so these divinities, in ancient Egypt, everything is deified. You have Mehert as well related to the cow. And in I believe it's the Temple of Abydos, Asar, the cow, Asar, it was the oracle for the temple. An actual cow was the oracle for the temple. And so in antiquity, in Northeast Africa, Egypt, Kemet, the cow was given high reverence. And this transferred into India, where the cow is a holy animal. And we know that India had contact with ancient Egypt. So the cow essentially is because of, for example, in the Temple of Medina Habu, you see Asar the cow with the female cows, 7 female cows, and he the one cow, male cow. It means that he engenders creation through the 7 principles, because he sires the 7 female cows, which are related to the 7 psychospiritual energy centers, the 7 powers of the subtle body of the human being, and therefore the 7 principles from which creation come into existence. And so the cow is a sacred animal. And if you look at how, I remember an experience that I had before, and this is before getting serious about the teaching. I was driving one day, and St. Croix has its rural areas, and I was driving through this area called Calcahun, and I stopped at a stoplight, and there was a cow very close to the road, and the cow looked in my eyes, and I looked in the cow's eyes, and it was so sublime that after that I could not eat cow's meat ever again, or meat for that matter. That there's a kind of divine quality to cows. And if you look at how they're treated in modern culture, with they exist in what are called CAFOs, concentrated agricultural farming operation. So CAFO mean, and it's essentially a farm where cows are raised to be slaughtered. So there's mass slaughtering of cows on a daily basis to sustain the appetite of human beings for meat. And if you have over 380 million people in the United States, that's a lot of cows. They're being slaughtered on a daily basis to support that appetite. Then you extrapolate that throughout all of the other Western countries where cow's meat is eaten in large amounts. You're talking about billions of cows a year being slaughtered for human consumption. And this goes against righteousness. This goes against truth. And in ancient times, you were being admonished not to kill cows, especially those that were set aside for the temple, for temple rituals, temple worship, oracles in the temple, or symbols of the divinities, and namely Hereu, She's one of the more prominent cow goddesses. Her Aset has a cow form. Well, Aset wears the cow horns. Her Hereu manifests as an actual cow. And in her chapel at the temple of Nefertari, you see where she is in her cow form, and the baby Hereu is suckling from her udder. And that's mystic tantric symbolism. You know, you're not going to have a real human baby sucking milk from the udder of a cow. It's tantric symbolism. What it means is that the spiritual aspiration is suckling spirit essence from the divine mother, which is a cow, which is Hereu. And therefore, the cow has a certain mystic symbolism, as well as metaphysical symbolism, as well as mythic symbolism. And therefore, how we're treating cows in modern times is an antithesis to how they were treated in ancient Kemet. You could not mass slaughter cows in ancient Kemet. You know, they were allowed to roam because they were seen as manifestations of the Great Mother, the Divine Mother. And essentially that's what you're eating when you're doing that. Even if you say your grace or prayer, whatever you're doing over the animal has already been slaughtered, so there's no grace or anything that's going to purify it. The key is not to slaughter, not to kill. And if you eat cows, you are participating in the slaughtering and killing of those cows. There's no way around it, actually, because the meat industry is dependent on human consumption. And as long as there are people to eat cow's meat, there'll be operations to slaughter them. And the conditions in which they're kept, in ancient times, they were actually cared for. They were groomed, they were cleaned. The conditions in which they're kept, they're walking around in their own feces all day. And not to mention the ones that are used for dairy products, such as milk, to churn, to make ice cream or whatever. The female cows, their udders are attached to machines that milk them, and they stand in their own waste, their own urine, their own feces, for who knows how long. And then after their usefulness, then they're killed for veal. How do you call it? Veal, that kind of meat. So there's in this culture, the way how human beings have come to condition themselves to consume foods, lots of animals have to be killed. So human beings not only genocide each other, they genocide animals. They genocide forests, or anything that's living, they find a way to kill. Yeah, that's a great downfall of humanity. And the way out of it, the way to circumvent 44 so it doesn't weigh down on your mind when it's time for you to go through the judgment, is And you know that the judgment process is a daily process. We're talking about the terminal process, is to adopt one of the most righteous things that you can do is to adopt a vegetarian, vegan diet. Especially in this society, it's one of the most righteous acts that you can perform on a daily basis, is to not eat animal products or dairy products. And when you're doing that, you're extricating yourself from the suffering, from your participation in the suffering of other living beings. It's a statement of righteousness and truth when you adopt a vegan vegetarian diet. And it has been proven time and time again that a vegan diet is the healthiest diet a person can eat. Because the more you eat meat, the more susceptible you are to cancers, to heart disease, to all manner of vascular disease, and all manner of inflammation type diseases, such as arthritis, fibromyalgia, formication. Formication is a kind of disease of inflammation that collects under your skin, and it feels like something is crawling on your body. It's all produced by foods that are causing inflammation, which are the dairy products and the meat products. When you're eating berries and plant-based foods, there's nothing there to cause inflammation. And to feed your children cow's milk, you're feeding them milk that is produced by nature for the infant of a cow, and your infant is not a cow. So there are certain hormones and enzymes in cow's milk that are not supposed to be introduced into the body of a human being. You have the mother's milk for that. And then when a child reaches a certain age and is weaned off of the breast of the mother, by nature, the child is weaned off of milk in totality. But during the Industrial Revolution in the United States, there was propaganda put out and advertising to influence the population to drink milk as a form of nutrition for calcium. Because if you drink a cow's milk, you'll get enough calcium. And that doesn't work, because when you drink cow's milk, you create a chemical imbalance in your body, and your body becomes inflamed. And to reduce the inflammation, your body have to produce calcium. Your bones have to release calcium to buffer the toxins that are being generated by drinking the milk. So you're actually causing the problem that you're stating that drinking the milk would prevent. Because drinking the milk causes a chemical imbalance that needs to be buffered by calcium. So it pulls the calcium from the bones into the system to stabilize the body's system. You know, when a person gets older, they're breaking their hips, they're getting fractures in their spine, etc. So drinking cow's milk and dairy and things like that, and eating lots of meat, it has its karmic and its cosmic ramifications, because these are holy animals. And if you cause what is designated as divine to suffer, then you will suffer the consequences of killing the sacred cattle. So people, they develop arteriosclerosis, that heart disease. They develop diabetes. They develop the arthritis, the gout, all manner of autoimmune diseases, because number one, meat is not proper nutrition for the human body, and number two, it is cosmic unrighteousness that is being performed when you're eating cows, etc. And the best way to get off is to wean yourself off little by little, following a proper dietary plan. And one of the most, another thing that they did was they duped the public into thinking that you needed meat for protein. And studies have been done that the emphasis on protein in a diet for health is overblown. The amount of protein they say that you need is much less than you actually need. And you can get protein from other sources, such as certain beans, certain rices, certain legumes, certain nuts. You don't need to eat meat to get the sufficient quantity of protein that the body needs to function properly. They dupe the public into thinking that. And studies have been done with indigenous and rural communities where they don't eat meat. And when they first go into these communities, these are actual studies that have been done. There's no heart disease, there's no arthritis, there's no gout, there's no high blood pressure, there's no diabetes. And when the meat products are added, here comes the disease: high blood pressure, heart disease, gout, etc., autoimmune diseases, cancers. Why? Because the diet that they have converted to is not the proper diet for a human body. The human body, for those who are in the AM class, you know that the human body is primarily an energy system. And if you are eating meat products, you are using your energy of the body to break down, to metabolize, to digest the heavy meats. So you're siphoning energy from the body to digest the food. So people feel lethargic, they feel tired, they develop chronic fatigue syndrome, etc. So because your body is primarily an energy mechanism, and by mechanism, I mean your body is primarily a tool. It's a tool of the soul to navigate and explore the world of time and space, physical reality, which is temporal. But your soul cannot do it directly because your soul is in a region that is transcendent of the physical plane of existence. So your soul cannot come down to the physical world. It needs an instrument to convey an experience of the physical world. And that's where the physical body comes in. So through the unconscious, the Hereu of the unconscious, a physical body is generated, is created. And that physical body then becomes an instrument by which the soul probes into the world of time and space. And that instrument primarily operates on energy forces. And if you are, therefore, what you need to eat are fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes, any antioxidant food, any foods that are grown from trees, any foods that's a leaf. And there are books that you can get that will help you to make healthy, nutritious, wholesome, plant-based meals. And those meals would energize your body. I was talking to Maat the other day, and I was explaining that at my time and space occupation, the elevator was shut down for them to do some maintenance work. So we had to take the stairs. And I was amazed at how effortless it was for me to take the stairs. And this is days on end. And if you treat the body in a proper way, the body will store, and you'll have access to energy. So you have to give the body energy for you to experience energy. And as you get older, the physical body starts to deteriorate. That's a natural process of the body. But since you are not the body, you should be becoming more energized. You should be becoming more energy than you should be having more experience of energy than you have of your physical body as you get older. So you should be expressing your body, you should be expressing energy, vibrancy, Ankh Ujjasanet, life, vitality, and health as you get older. This idea that as you get older, your body should be decrepit and you should be bent over using a cane and things like that. That comes from a Western cultural context, because the Western diet is a debilitating diet. It actually destroys the body over time. So yes, it is a cultural norm for as people get older, the body deteriorates to where you are having an experience of your body that is characterized as suffering. And that's because you're too tied into your body, giving your body too much artificial foods, too much meat, and cosmically, you have not aligned your physical body with the principle of Ma'at. You have to generate condition in which you're aligning your body with the cosmic force of Ma'at. And that's by not eating cows. That's by revering cows. That's by treating them with respect. That's by disagreeing with how they're treated in modern culture. That's by holding them in reverence. That's by worshiping their principle, which are Hereu, which are Ased, which are Asar. And by doing that, you are aligning your own physical body with the mystic force of Ma'at, which is manifesting as a cosmic force that aligns your body with the principle of Ankh Uja Seneb. You have created an alignment, a synchronicity. And if you synchronize your body with the cosmic force of Ma'at, you're synchronizing your body with energy, with power, with force. And anything that happens to the body is due to the prevalence of the Aryu. But since you are growing spiritually, you don't suffer the ills of the body as a normal person would. The body is there, it might get disease, but if you know what to do, you can come out of that disease if you're realizing the cosmic forces that are operating, and that if you put yourself in a condition to be healed, the body will heal. In fact, the body is always moving towards healing. It is the person that is getting in the way of the body's healing, automatic healing mechanism. How you get in the way is that you keep putting foods in the body that debilitates the body. It's making the body do things that it is not designed to do. It can do them, but it is doing them as an epigenetic imposition. And by that, I mean, you're causing genes, the genes of your cells, to adapt to what you have been doing to it through the diet. But that adoption is a deviation from the natural order in which those cells are designed by nature, by the divine to operate. So you're causing the body to work in ways that it is not designed to work. Try putting water in the gas tank of your car and see how well that works. You know that that will not work. Similarly, you're putting negative foods into your body will not work. It will not operate properly. It will become disease. And through that, it can offer you a harrowing existence, a harrowing experience of disease, of illness, of ill health, where you're concentrating so much on your body because it is so, it is giving off such high signals. The signals that the body is giving off that something is not right that is what human beings call pain. But that pain is only a signal from the nervous system that telling you, hey, something is not right. Hey, something is not right. Yeah, human beings don't listen to that. They continue with the process, and so they continue to debilitate the body. The human structure, as far as the skeletal system, is not designed to carry 250, 300 pounds of fat, and body's not designed, constructed to be obese. And that's why obese people have issues with their back, they have issues with their knees, they have issues with their hips, because the body is not designed for that. You're taking the body out of its natural design process and imposing something on it that is not designed for. But that's the ramification of going against the divine order, which is the reverence of the cow. And so you have in ancient Egyptian religion, which is referred to as Shatat Neter, a sophisticated design of the worship of the divine cow. You have Mehert, you have Aset, you have Net, and it becomes full-blown in Hereu, which her face is a face of a face is a face of a cow. Her ears are cow ears, and she has the cow horns, and she has a composite form where her head is the cow and the head of a cow, and her body is a female. And then you have her in full cow form. And then you have Mehert in full cow form. Then you have Goddess Net, who is the cow that brings forth Ra, the creator spirit that manifests as the totality of existence. They have a sophisticated worship of the cow, the divine cow, in ancient Egyptian religion. Asar is the cow. Usually you can't find any more sophistication of the usage of the divine cow than in ancient Egyptian religion. And so as a spiritual community, we revere the cow. We don't destroy it. We don't cause the cow to suffer. And how we do that now, because human beings are not, we don't have close proximity to animals like we used to, because we have cities. And where you have cities, You have the removal of animals. You might have cockroaches, a lizard here. You might have birds around, but you don't have a total community of animals in cities. A forest is a community. A savanna is a community of animals working together, living off each other in the constant flow of life and death. It's the interplay of life and death in forests, in savannas, in oceans that human beings are disrupting because essentially they're greedy. They have to eat all the time. They're consuming and consuming and consuming. And if we disrupt that ecosystem, we're disrupting some portion of ourselves. We're doing something to ourselves by disrupting the natural order of life and death. So since we don't have close proximity to animals, what can we do? How can we show love and affection and reverence? Don't eat them. Don't drink their fluids. Don't eat their entrails. And the highest order is when we worship them in their manifestations of Asar, of Ased, of Hereu. And by giving that reverence, we receive the blessings, the boons, the divine guidance to lead us to the higher mystical truth of who we are essentially, which are gods and goddesses. Okay, dua everyone. I hope this was helpful for you. Until we meet again, Hetep.